safe only, even though we burn from the light I bleed. Does she bring me back? Not a heart attack could take away all the love I had for you. It bleeds for you, it bleeds again. Oh, you bring me to life. 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 You bring me to life.
I've been working part-time jobs, chasing all my dreams now lately. No matter if I try too hard, nothing's ever enough, baby. No, I don't care too much. I don't care too much. As long as I can keep you by my side, I don't care too much. We got time, no rush. In your eyes, I always see there is something meant for me. In your eyes, I always feel different. Tell me everything's alright. Life is just a bunch of phases, and if it's not, we'll still be fine. I know we're going places. I don't care too much. I don't care too much. As long as I can keep you by my side, I don't care too much. We got time, no rush. In your eyes, I always see there is something meant for me. In your eyes, I always feel different.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the MDL. We're going to be going straight into one of our first matches today, which will be Nordavind facing off against Team Spirit. I'm joined by Dean, of course, the Irishman, but he is going to be watching some great British Counter-Strike today, as we've got the well-known British team of Team Spirit.
Yeah, you've got someone to get behind here. People, of course, going to be confused about the flags. It doesn't really need to be addressed. Last location, that's it, guys. Don't worry. Obviously, everyone knows where Team Spirit are from. But yeah, no, this game should be good. You said coming into this, you're a little bit worried for Nordavind just because of the matchup in general. Team Spirit being a very strong team. The way the map veto goes down as well, you were hoping for maybe a Mirage would have been a little bit better. But I think Inferno is probably one of the better ones here for Nordavind to try and actually challenge them. But it's still going to be tough. I do think we at least have a competitive game here. But Team Spirit, they've gotten themselves that CT start. And I think that's definitely going to help them out a lot as well.
Yeah, I think the big issue I have is just the fact that Nordavind are not only playing with a stand-in, but I believe that the stand-in is also replacing their in-game leader of Rubino. So it's basically just going to be a really tough situation for them. NATO's had to take up that role, which is something he's done before. But they are going to get the right call here, straight in towards the B site. It'll be decent position from Chopper, and they are just going to set up for the retake, and they've got some smokes in, well, a little bit of a lucky headshot through the smoke.
Yeah, it's what you like to see. When it's such a quick play, when they didn't initially try and contest on Banana, they're just giving it up, playing for the retake, and hoping to at least be able to get a frag as they get the bomb planted.
They are the players like put into more supportive roles, and Tensky, that is one hell of a way to start the round.
Yeah, you see now there's trouble on the A-bomb site. Only SMGs remain in the defend. Both of them very, very aggressive and also not in the greatest of spots to work off of each other. So they do go down with only a single trade coming back. With that now, the bomb is going to be planted. Interesting molly into the smoke. Not going to do a lot now. Savage, so the timing is perfect. And Mir was even in the corner. I didn't even realize that. Does at least get one back at this point. I think he just tries to take himself the rifle and run away. There's not really much else that Mir can do about this. Has a defuse, Skip, but it doesn't matter when you don't have much of an opportunity to actually get into the bomb site. It's not going to be allowed. Even then, I don't know if getting that weapon I was going to say over towards long can be done. It was initially being spotted by HS.
Yeah, smart move from Harry as well. Just going to make sure there really isn't a chance for that rifle to be saved. You can see Mir now going to go looking for it, but it is gone. I like this, though. He's going to steal something from his CIS brother in the form of the nade over the top, but actually, he's the only one who dies, so it probably wasn't worth it in the end.
I mean, yeah, that's unfortunate. 1-1.
It's because the bomb was...
in.
It's because the bomb was planted so deep into the site. Like, I think he assumed that it was in their more default spots so that the man in pit would take the majority of the damage. Instead, he took far more than he expected because he was a little bit closer than he thought.
Yeah, no, it needs to be, as you said, towards default pretty much for it to do, I think, like 70 damage at that point. So that's when the nades can really help out. But Team Spirit, they're going to come right back in with their own force buy here. Obviously not being nearly as strong as what we've seen from Nordavind, not having the boosted loss bonus, not having the ability to get bombs planted and such. So it is just Deagles, 1CZ. The Molotovs have been a little bit awkward so far in this game, not going to lie, in towards the smokes and just not landing where they're meant to go. The aim, rather, being a little bit awkward with them. But right now, it's slow by Nordavind. Not really anything crazy being done. They already have the banana control very early on. So at the moment, they're just holding, waiting to see if Team Spirit will maybe try and re-aggressor later on in the round. And in the meantime, they did have a couple of players pressuring around apartments. It seems like now they want to try and just group up, maybe bring this back towards B. Obviously, there's still plenty of time for them really to do anything at this point. And indeed, getting another player to join them, they're working their way up towards mid now. And I believe they may leave just one player towards the bottom of banana while they get that mid control and then decide where exactly they want to commit it to.
Oh, good position for Young. Just waiting. Doesn't quite manage to connect the dig. Almost expected him to, if I'm honest. We've seen a lot from Team Spirit in the past when it comes to the pistols. I disbalance, though. It's going to rotate in just about in time. And they've got to be careful here. The amount of times I see teams get caught around this smoke towards the library as it fades at the wrong time, or maybe a player pushes through it. You can see they're trying to be patient. A nice shot from Harry to entry. Just a 1 kill coming up for Young as well. Has retrieved an AK, though. And the second will go in his favor, leaving this down into a 3 versus 3. The tough position, though, is going to be peeking back into these rifles, especially for the 2 players that only have themselves some pistols. But maybe they're just going to try and be a little bit of a distraction, try and give Young a way back into the round.
Yeah, I'm not really too optimistic at this point. Young probably just wants to save the AK, especially with Kevlar. His teammates also having pistols in Kevlar. It's not really too worthwhile for them to even go for exits in this case, obviously. So beginning the back away in the end, there's a deagle also in the hands of SUMSUNG that he can drop over to a teammate. Balance probably just going to keep his money, so they'll be able to get the op out then going into the opening gun round. But it's still giving them a really good chance here to try and keep the damage on. They got 2 kills in this round as well. It's not the worst situation to be in, and obviously having a rifle now, an AK in the hands of a player as capable as SUMSUNG is always going to be dangerous. So we will see Nordavind coming into this round probably playing it a little bit safer, maybe trying to feel out where that AK is early on in the round and make the decisions based off of that.
Well, we'll see if he can do anything in this one. Nordavind still, they're able to beat the initial force buy. Of course, this one basically just as strong. They are going to have just that peek into middle, chance for maybe something to come up off the back of that individual AK. Very little in terms of utility. And this is a round where Nordavind basically just have to build up some cash. Sure, it's a tougher buy than they probably would have liked, but even still, not going to be the easiest round in the world for them. And they, as said, it can't be too costly. Nice start. Already the rifle's gone. In fact, not even any damage done in return. And now iDisbalance is going to be able to retrieve it, but he does not have any armor whatsoever. And the peeking from Harry will basically end this round.
Yeah, no, definitely does. With the money that they have right now, I mean, they're going to get 2,400 in this next round, so it'll definitely help them out being able to keep Kevlar on a couple of these players. Get the extra nades, always, of course, been so important, especially on the CT side of Inferno for holding off those choke points. Nordavind, they're taking their time here, though, to get that bomb planted. Being 100% sure that no one's around the bomb site. There was a smoke down that maybe someone could have been hiding in, so they didn't really want to get up close, give a chance for a pistol to catch someone once it begun to fade. And indeed, the bomb finally going down. Either way, Team Spirit obviously not going to be going for this one. Chopper can stick around. He's actually peeking from the ramp scene. If maybe he can get one player, perhaps fade one down to him, but no, absolutely wrecked. Doesn't work out for him, and now Magic's in Mir looking to just try and save these weapons. And save.
Yeah, even just the armor. I think that's the bigger thing. Just making sure they'll have strong utility into the next round. It's only going to be a 2,400 loss bonus, so even for Magic's, just to make sure that he can get everything, maybe even upgrade, although I believe he's already taken some armor damage, so it would cost him the 4,000 if he wanted to get that head armor in play. And there's not really too much value behind it either. So T's going to be able to keep their remaining players alive, they even kill off Mir at the end, who did have the head armor and everything. And even now, going into what is the first buy round for the CT side, how long they've saved up for it. Like, sure, there's a decent amount of utility, but for example, Mir only has a singular smoke, no incendiary. In fact, there's 3 players without it. iDisbalance is just going to have the AWP and basic Kevlar. So there's definitely some pieces missing. The thing is with this Spirit roster, so much firepower. I think that's something they've done very well when it comes to CIS teams and picking up players is if I was going to be building a team from like at least the pieces of Vegas Squadron that worked and the pieces of other teams that seem to have been built up over time, this would be it. And then you've got the young guy in the form of Magic's, who I'll be honest, I really don't know much about at all. 16 years old, come into this roster, I think is a little bit of a surprise, but thus far it's been good. One of the top teams in the season, 8 wins, 3 losses, whereas their opponent at the moment is 7-7, and it's evident that Nordavind, they need this victory today.
Yeah, Magic's clearly very talented, also surrounded by a lot of talent, so he may not always shine through, but right now Nordavind just trying to go for a little bit of a quicker play here on the opening gun round for themselves, and I mean, despite actually getting in towards the bomb site, unfortunately with the spam, they do lose a couple of players. Also, there was the boost in play, of course, and they're going right back in for it as well, surprisingly. I think the flash there kind of forced them away from it, but yeah, Nordavind, I mean, they have the bomb site. If they can get that bomb planted, of course, without a kit in the hands of Spirit, it's still definitely possible. Unfortunately, though, at this point, already running out of utility, they put down that last Molotov in towards construction and the last smoke towards the CT spawn as well, so it is going to be Spirit getting the chance to move forward very quickly. Now they still have some nades themselves. Neo Safik's actually holding for that aggressive angle, trying to see if he can find one. They kind of do need it, but unfortunately, iDisbalance on the op, ready to take him down once he tries to get back into cover. Harry with his swing only able to get one, and now it's all on Tensky in a pretty tough spot as well.
Yeah, that really just came down to the numbers game. I think the sort of saving grace for Spirit was actually the fact that we did see such a fast play actually coming up from Nordavind. Just because basically they didn't have the utility to deny them if it was a longer haul round. Like if things were a little bit slower, if Nordavind took their time, they could have baited out some of the grenades and it would have been a much more difficult retake if they'd managed to be as successful as they were as getting onto the site. The issue is because, as I said, they were so quick, they still had all the utility for the retake, and Chopper obviously able to do so much damage over the top of the smoke, which basically just ended the round. Even still, Teased are going to be able to buy again, but that is a good start for iDisbalance. He's finally got that AWP in play, and it's already going to do bits for his side.
Oh, yeah, and then so much nade damage as well over towards Banana there onto HS. The nade, I believe, ticked him down a little bit, and then the Molotov had him pinned in. Just about survives on 2 health, and with that, Will Fallback actually flashes up for Croman to try and get the Banana control, and fortunately for them, there is no one actually sticking around. We've seen Team Spirit happy enough with the advantage that they found themselves, just going to be playing a little bit more passive. Actually, very passive, because Mir's all the way back in the spawn, so a smoke could cut him off from being able to do too much other than spamming away. So, I mean, this B-bomb site, if they do stick with this defense later on in the round, they could be a little bit weaker. But for the moment, anyway, Nordavind, a couple of their players still working around mid, the bomb, and then one towards the top of Banana, looking like they actually do want to begin to fall back. Now they've got that mid control. It seems like A instead maybe the focus. I mean, at this point, they've still so much time that they can do whatever they want. I think they just want to see wherever they can get an opening right now, hoping maybe someone will aggress on B, just because of the amount of presence that's been shown on mid.
Oh, the utility damage is killer this round. Harry now going to take a chunk as well, and Mir in a good position. I do wonder if the CT side are expecting less amounts of utility to be available for Nordavind, just because this is a round after they had that sort of big purchase. So maybe expecting a little bit less to be there. Even still, this is looking very, very easy for them. They've waited the time down. Smokes not really doing their job properly. While with 15 seconds left, this needs to be clinical from Tensky. He's managed to find one, but it looks like his teammates are already going back to save. So I'm not really sure why he's still facing this. Nice shot, at least onto Chopper. And who knows, maybe if HS has been a little bit further forward, it would have been worthwhile. Instead, right at the depths of the round, iDisbalance will get a kill. And sure, we are going to see the AWP saved, and possibly going to mean we'll get a buy up, especially considering 3 players can purchase. But there's definitely going to be some pieces missing for Nordavind, and after 2 failed rounds, the buys are now getting worse and worse.
Yeah, it's not terrible. It's a little bit better than I thought. I'm kind of surprised HS ended up getting out the Galil. He was able to actually get that drop over, I believe, because he did only have 2,000 for himself. So yeah, that's really the main weakness. Harry could have more nades, but he's looking to try and play a little bit quicker here, as you can see. Try and restrict some mid control. Actually does spot the aggression there from the up peeking in the second mid. It seems like that's forced them to shy away a little bit for the moment. Quite a few players also were focused over towards the ramp looking for that banana control, but at the moment kind of just waiting out the nades that have been thrown down, and as another smoke gets put into place, they cancel what was looking to be the beginning of the push finally. So right now, Team Spirit doing a really good job, of course, at restricting Nordavind from getting any control or info, but they are beginning to run a little bit lower on utility, and there is still quite a bit of time here for Nordavind.
A Chopper. His position could be vital. Just waiting for the T's to see what they're actually going to do here. They are still waiting maybe to even fight into Banana, and that could be their doom. Maybe only expecting iDisbalance to be here. He gets the first, and that's just the bait. Chopper, he will only get 1 though. And now they're looking to press the AWP, but he gets a double. 2 for 1, leaving NATO all on his own. A little bit of luck going a long way, and the remaining Dane is going to have a lot left to do, trying to force the AWP off. Actually, maybe able to catch iDisbalance as he retreats. That's something. And actually just going to try and barrel onto the site, but he does not expect Mir to be here, waiting in the corner. And that is as easy a kill as he is going to get. 4-3, great round coming out from iDisbalance. And yeah, Spirit, we basically said it before. There's a lot of talented individuals, and they're going to give us a show.
Yeah, I didn't mind the idea there by Nordavind. At that point, they know with the aggression having been taken, there's even a chance that maybe there's only 1 player with the op up on the corner. Unfortunately, the op was able to get the first kill. Then Chopper also got one, even though they tried to clear the corner. And then obviously we've seen what happened with the collateral. Yeah, I like the idea kind of from Nordavind. If they were able to get the kills quickly, then the rotation would have taken a while. But yeah, Spirit, just the firepower they have, they're so difficult to deal with. And Nordavind, they're realizing that. 3 rounds in a row now have been taken by Team Spirit. Back onto the pistols for Nordavind, not really having much behind them either. It's only 1 player that actually has Kevlar. So we don't expect much from this round, but there's always a chance. If they can get a couple of kills, if they can get the bomb planted to help them out a little bit in the next round, they'll be getting 2,900. So, I mean, they won't really have too many issues either way, but the more the merrier. That's how it goes. But already the opening kill being found. That nade as well. Quite dangerous towards NATO. Safix drops him to 23. Not quite the kill, but just weakening up these already disadvantaged pistols, of course, not going to be helping out.
Yeah, in the meantime, just too much information's come up. Chopper has completely taken banana control. Like, this is a round that I feel like if you're going to explode into short/apps, you need to do it a bit quicker, because this has been way too easy for Spirit to basically just work out what you're doing. They spotted all the information. As said, Chopper took control, and it just leaves them in a position where they're basically fighting versus 4 players who are fully equipped. So nothing really achieved for Nordavind in that round, and it does mean that the bank is now starting to build for Spirit. And while on the other side of things, the T's have got a purchase once again.
Yeah, not going to be going for the op this time, which probably could be a good adjustment. So maybe they can take the speed up a little bit, try and actually deny all the early control that Spirit have been getting. And indeed, that's what we see over towards Banana. There is still the risk, of course, of a bit of nade damage, but they were able to use their own Molotovs and flashes to flush those players back in towards the CT spawn. Magic's, I believe, boosted up on quad. I think that's the setup that's going on right now. So yeah, a little bit of a change up as well from Team Spirit here on mid. I think they realized that coming into this gun round, they want to try something different. This is when Nordavind are going to go ahead and try and change things up themselves, because it is getting a little bit awkward. I like the idea. HS, they try and flash him in just straight up to take the peak. The issue is he had heard the scope of the op, and there was another player as well ready from the side side to go ahead and get himself the frag. Once they try and work out in towards mid, that quad boost and the stack up between under quad and long as well is just too much for them to deal with. That was a nice shot by Chrome, and I'm not sure how he got that. He gives them some signs of life, but not much.
Yeah, no, we're just seeing almost different multi-frag after different multi-frag. Like, just look at the scoreboard at the moment, 7-7, 7-7-5. Like, you don't really see things as clean as that normally on any side of the map. Of course, Spirit now starting to get in the groove, and I think that's the real worry. I don't know who is going to be there on the other side to be the combo breaker. Like, of course, strategy-wise, things are a little bit odd for Nordavind at the moment because their in-game leader isn't playing, and your AWPer is in-game leading, which, okay, it can work, but it's going to be one of those things where that puts a lot of pressure onto NATO's shoulders, especially on the T side of this map, where in reality, it's going to be very difficult, especially with how aggressive iDisbalance actually becomes. Even still, we are now going to be looking at what is, again, a pistol investment. I'd like to see maybe a little bit of an aggressive play in towards the apps once again, but already there's going to be a 1D coming out mid.
Just the confidence there by Young as well to peek straight down mid, take himself a double kill. Looks to stick around as well, relatively aggressive, because he has his teammates rotating back in through long also, so they're trying to hunt down Young on their quad, see if they can finish off the player that they know they tagged up slightly. But they just walk into a little bit of a trap. Final 2 players now left just outside the apartments, and again, with just the Deagles to work with in this round, we're really not expecting much else to be found, especially in this position now. But if they can get one more kill, even if they can perhaps, as I said before, get the bomb down, that always helps out. But even then, the money is in a pretty solid spot already at this point for Team Spirit, so I don't think that would be the end of the world for them. They wouldn't be too worried if they were to lose just one more player even. But right now, Nordavind bringing it back towards Banana, and we do see Team Spirit playing a very defensive hold back in towards the CT spawn, which is probably a good idea. Obviously, when they know they're up against such a low buy, it's very unlikely that there's a smoke in play. So obviously, they're not going to be able to smoke off the spawn. They will have to challenge it and do so up against the rifles.
The thing is, though, like, I get the idea, but at the same time, I'm not sure I agree necessarily. Like,
yeah.
With no, not even that. It's with the amount of money that they have in terms of loss bonus. I think there's actually a pretty good chance that there would be a smoke in play. Like, if you do go for a low buy, you go for like a few pistols, smoke, and a couple of nades. Like, that's normally. Yeah, it's normally how I would look at it, at least. So I guess basically you're just going to either play retake and allow them the bomb plant, but I don't really see the necessity of it when you already have such an advantage in the round. But even still, it was the right call from what we could see. So clearly they have some 20/20 vision that I just didn't know about knowing the utility of their opposition. And because of that, very, very easy cleanup again, and more money just being stacked up for Spirit.
There was Sorry, Magic should have the skill. I was going to say, as you were saying about the smoke, there was one down like halfway through mid from the initial kill Young got. So in theory, that could have been retrieved, but maybe they had seen it and thought, okay, that's probably the only smoke they had. So I don't know.
Well, in that round at least, we did see ourselves some aggression into the apartments, and it's successful as well. I think they're just starting to now get more and more confident as the round go on. It's nice to see a dynamic CT side, but to be honest, Spirit haven't even been forced to use too much. They've been very good at just sitting back to the sites and finding picks. They've been good at getting multi-frags when anybody pushes in, which could just come down to Nordavind not really trading kills properly. And then once they have these openers, look how passive they become. They make it really difficult for this side to get in, but good work from Croman. Boost up, normally only good for one, but Chopper has been fantastic so far, just looking to try and survive in the back, wait for the rotation to come in. Really, they should be closing him down. He needs to be dead much quicker than this, because now his support comes up. He's going to get one, and the second as well. Chopper goes ham, leaves just Tensky left, and well, he's won the round on his own. There's absolutely nothing they can do. They didn't even need help in the end. It's Chopper with a 4K. It's the solo man defending the B site.
This is getting a little bit out of hand right now for Nordavind. I mean, they got a pretty strong start after winning out the force buy, got the 3 rounds in a row, and since then it's just been 7 out for Team Spirit, and it's not like they've been all that close. It's usually just been quite convincing. You can see that because of the fact that the economy has gotten completely out of control at this point. Team Spirit, they should be fine for the rest of the half, even if they do start losing quite a few rounds in a row and start running low on money. Obviously, the loss bonus is going to stack up. So, Nordavind, I mean, they're in trouble at this point. Obviously, only a best of 1. They don't have anything else to think about. They need to start trying to grind out some rounds here on the T side, and this round, unfortunately, probably isn't going to be one of them. Again, put onto the half buy, not being able to get out that full investment. They'll have plenty, obviously, going into the next round. But at that point, if they want to get the 6 rounds that I think you want on the T side to feel happy with the half, then they're going to need to get everything that remains. So it is certainly going to be tough. I feel like we might see some more aggression again over towards the apartment, similar to that previous round early on. This time with the pistols, I think the goal could be to drop out balcony, but probably not how far the bomb is back towards the ramp right now. So I think just trying to see if maybe they can catch anyone aggressive with the pistols, maybe steal away a weapon or two.
Are they going to push right into the hands of some Young? Well, they're actually changing their mind. Interesting. T-side look all but set to make a play in towards the apartments, and instead they're going to double back. Maybe just looking to try and make sound cues to try and bait out some rotations. The issue is Spirit have fallen for nothing. We're going to see the nade over the top, but it doesn't quite land. T's maybe starting to become a little bit hesitant, and still plenty of utility available to try and slow this push down. But here we go. Chopper, he might actually be caught with a nade in hand, and in fact, Near has got caught. Finally, they've got a little bit of luck with both players on the CT side making somewhat of a mistake. The rotation is going to be fast. And there's a peek into Banana. Harry up close, just waiting. Flashbang goes through and he gets wrecked. Magic Squad jumping over the top. Headshots him out. But even still, they picked up some guns. They've even thrown down an extra smoke. The T's have a chance.
Oh, as you say that, you may have jinxed this slightly. Nice boost in towards that banana smoke. The Deagle of Idas Balance also going to find Croman in towards the spawn. Oh, and just swings out on Tensky. Absolutely wrecks him. It's all on HS, but he does have a decent angle. Already spraying down 2 from Orange. Is being pushed, but running low on bullets. And Idas Balance just about gets the kill in time. Coming through clutch, but that was a very hectic round once it came down to the afterplant right there.
You got to feel bad almost for Nordavind at that point. It seems like they did everything right. The retake was good from Spirit, and then HS at the end just trying his best to cling on, but just spamming out those few bullets, hoping to get a pre-fire kill instead, is met with trouble. 9-3, at least doing some damage to the CT side economy, but ultimately it doesn't matter. Nearly $15,000 in Disbalance purse. We are now going to see, again, some utility expended in towards Banana. The CT side have done a good job of taking this control, and you can see there's temptation there from the T's to try and fight for this, try and take it back. They've got Molotovs to expend. Chopper actually going to get right into the corner as well. They may not be expecting anybody to be this far down, and already we're going to see the gamble rotation back, and the T's have just given up. They've allowed Spirit to take this control. They've allowed them to almost have it just at the expense of their utility. And because of that, we can even see them bolster up this A site with 1 further player.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. It looks like it is going to be the correct decision as well, because Nordavind, for the moment, are focusing on trying to get that mid-control. A nicely timed Molotov, I think that may force Nordavind to reconsider what exactly they want to do. Chopper right now actually relatively aggressive on Banana, did spam away a few shots just to kind of say, okay, we are aggressive on Banana right now. You don't want to think about coming back here. You want to walk right into that age stack that we have going on. And it looks like it will still work out. They're beginning to go forward now. There's decent amount of time, of course, but it's about dealing with these players on the bomb site. And so far, it's actually working. Harry gets himself a double, but they don't expect Magic still in towards that corner. Unfortunately for him, only able to get one despite the fact that they were unaware. Bomb will be planted now. It's a 2-on-4. Chopper and where they do have a kit. They have decent money. I was going to say it could be worthwhile at least trying to get a couple of kills, perhaps even slightly limit the buy in the next round for Nordavind. And it didn't seem like they were going to. They were beginning to back away, but now making their way back in, I think they've realized by how much money they have and by how late it is in the half, they can at least try and do some damage here.
Yeah, they just want to try and hold the players into the site. It's not really an attempt to win the round, but it's evident that Nordavind are basically just in a position where they know they just need to try and hold people into the corner. There isn't an HE this time, which, well, would have done a little bit of extra damage, but again, they planted deep. And Nordavind finally get themselves around on the board, and I'll be honest, I'm very surprised that that was the round they did it in, because it seemed like Team Spirit, again, had the right read, they had the right players in the right positions. I just think either the timing caught them or the crossfire was a little bit off, because the fact that the AWPer gets killed first without having any information that they've pushed all the way through short, and then the player on site, I don't think realized either that they managed to wrap that far around. So maybe a little bit of miscommunication, but even still, it is the capitalization coming out from Nordavind to get them there forward. Still a chance to grind it out to 6 and really not be in that bad a position at all. However, this has to be the beginning of a streak and not just a one and done round.
Yeah, I mean, it's some money, but as you said, ideally 6 rounds is what they're looking for right now to be happy with what they've been able to find here. That nade could destroy Chrome, and indeed drop to 52. HS takes a small bit as well. So Nordavind, despite looking like they will be able to get that banana control early on, they do have to fight for it. They'll take some damage in the meantime, and it seems like with that team spirit now happy enough to just fall back, they realize with the nades thrown in, they've likely done a good bit of damage, weakened up Nordavind somewhat. At least made them work for the map control that they were trying to find early on. And as I say, the Idis balance. Look at the re-aggress on short. NATO Safix is posted up right now, so if he decides to take the peek, but the timing, just as NATO takes out a smoke, well, they look to try and follow this up. It looked like they were tempted to do so, realizing though they'd given Idis balance enough time to go ahead and reposition himself, so they didn't want to give anything else over to that op, but he's just going to keep looking right now. At very least, peeks back in and realizes there's no one in mid itself anymore.
Once again, though, they have this loose hold when it comes to the B side. Chopper only just making his way back in. A singular smoke would be enough to isolate them, but still set them up nicely for a retake. Idis Balance is the only one with a flash, and they've read this very well. They've got the full rotation in. Good nade as the push looks to come around the corner. There goes the smoke, but it's a little bit late, and Idis Balance is now able to come around the corner. Damage being done through the edge of the smoke. He even takes a second, and his teammate saves him before he goes down. Tensky, who's just trying to sell the fake, hold on to rotations, is executed at the end, and it was exactly that, Dean. A one-and-done round, and then a flawless return to form from Spirit.
Unfortunately for Nordavind, I don't think they could afford that. Again, they could afford it in terms of the actual economy, but in terms of the game right now, can't afford to be dropping the rounds they needed to try and bring it up to 6. 5, though, not terrible, especially if you can pick up the pistol in that second half, then it's definitely still a game that's going to be competitive, but I ideally do want to see Nordavind getting this 5th round, otherwise I think it's going to be too much for them on the CT side. Look at this, I just managed to take it straight down mid. They actually line up for Croman. One more player trying to follow up, I believe, being Sumdai Young right there. Does some decent damage, but now he's been hunted down. They know already, of course, that A bomb site defense has been heavily weakened. Quick rotation coming in through long from 2 players, though. We did see Nordavind looking to try and aggress around this area. They actually fall back through the smoke then. And at this point, they could consider bringing it back towards B. Obviously, not 100% sure though if there'd be players aggressive down Banana, so they do just go forward with a flash and clean up that A bomb site. What a crazy round from Nordavind. Just very, very convincing. That's what we needed to see for them to finish out that half. I hope they can carry on with that form now going into the second.
Yeah, again, I still look at that round though and go, was that part of maybe just a little bit too much confidence from Team Spirit? Like, it was great that Nordavind won it that dominantly, but 2 players pushed down mid, and it was a weird way to do it. Like, normally you either smoke off short and then just have a player aggressively peeking down, or you try and smoke down mid and then peek that. to have someone just standing that far out in the open and not know that the pit wasn't cleared, it seems a little bit crazy to me. But nonetheless, they've won the half convincingly. It's a good comeback. Tensky even going to be going for Julie's, but it's not Julie's in a kit. It's only Julie's in a smoke, so not quite as powerful as it could have been. Even still, though, Croman is going to kick things off, and because of this, the T's are going to react. They've realized there's plenty of players down mid. Okay, let's challenge B.
Yeah, for the moment, it is just Tensky. He's going to actually go ahead and just get up close to the smoke with the dually, so that could be quite dangerous once they begin to come through. But the flash, it does completely blind them up, and that lets them move forward. The boost trying to come in towards the CT spawn, actually going to be spotted there by Chopper and Idis balance, so there wasn't much chance of surviving in that one, unfortunately. And what had started off decently here for Nordavind has actually been quickly reverted back into an advantage for Team Spirit. As I said, at least one kill is pulled back from Nordavind. As you said, no defuse kit was in play. Instead, it was the flashes. Indeed, it was actually on a different player, so Croman does still manage to pick that up towards construction, and they are finding a couple of trades initially moving forward, but in the end, it falls all to NATO Safix now. Gets that first towards quad, of course, sees that kit in towards the pool and knows where the final player is, but he looks to try and get back towards the bomb, and Magix is not going to let that happen. Peeks out proactively and catches him with his back turned.
Yeah, it's basically mentioned before. It seems like in these clutch situations, these big individual plays, they just seem to come up all the time for Spirit. Like, every single one of their players is into double digits. I can't think of anybody who's been underwhelming on their side so far. And even just like the small piece of utility that they have been using in these rounds, that was a pistol round. That flashbang was spot on. Like, anything less than that, and Tensky easily holds onto that round. He's got Julius, he sat behind the smoke. They would have, if that flash missed, he would have at least got one. I don't think there's any doubt about it. Even still, the CT side, they're going to take the risk. They're going to force this one. Not really that surprising considering their situation and the fact that they wouldn't have a decent buy going into the next round anyway. NATO also with a little bit of extra cash will have himself a scout alongside even Kevlar. Even still, this is a must-win round for them. A must-win round to get back into the match. Because right now, if Spirit even get the conversion and are just allowed to build up economy against an eco round, we're looking at a potential 13 rounds on the board.
For sure, and we've got to remember the previous half with how strong it was for Team Spirit. Although they did win the pistol, they did, of course, lose the force bite to Nordavind and then go down 3-1 before they actually started building up that CT side. So if they can actually convert off the back of the pistol this time around, then Nordavind, as you said, definitely in a lot of trouble. But there is that force bite. The scout for NATO Safix, he kept a little bit of money. Everyone else haven't invested as well completely. They have pistols, and at this point, no nades left at all. But time getting a little bit lower, 35 seconds now. We see Team Spirit actually beginning to wrap in through long. And this is probably the perfect counter to be able to actually take the challenge on towards a longer range, of course, with the rifles. But Tensky catching the time in there, managed to connect the dink. HS in towards the apartment, steals away an AK for himself now, and this is going to get risky. Indeed, all of the kills pretty much going for Nordavind. It's all onto one man at this point. Sumda Young gets the scout on the bomb site. Trapped in the middle of the bomb site itself with the MAC-10. Glock in hand, spamming away, gets the dink and gets the kill in the end as well. How the hell does he recover that? A quad from Sumda Young. Was that a 1v4 or 1v3, I think?
I don't even know, but how did they lose that? He killed two of them with a Glock. Like, that's mental. Like, granted, the first I don't think had any head armor, but I take a pause. Nordavind have got to be absolutely kicking themselves. Again, if this was in the first half, that's a round in isolation. Sure, it's annoying, but I said at the time, it's a clinical round for them. It's one that's so critical for them coming back in this match, and they lose it based off being clutched out by a Glock. Like, that's got to be painful for them. And now we sit 12-5. They're going to risk geforce buy into it once again. I can understand it at this point because you are so far down and you've done enough damage in the last round that you want to try and break them. At the same time, this could be the final nail in the coffin.
It really could be. I don't know. As you said, they're already so far down that I feel like when you're at this point, it really kind of comes down to the team itself. Do you want to try and get the buy now if you believe in yourself to get control before it gets any further out of hand, or do you want to eco for the force for the actual buy? But yeah, unfortunately, trying to cross on mid, HS actually going to be taken down by the up of Idis balance. As you said, with the amount of damage they've done in the previous round, they might not have actually been expecting the ability for an up to be pulled out here. So that seems to have caught them off guard a little bit.
Yeah, luckily for them, the bank of Sumda Young managed to pull that one off with a purchase. Now they're going to make their way up banana, taking control, leaving one man lurking down the back in the form of Magix. Nade's going to be going out, but Harry needs to hit some shots, and he falls off the angle, just trying to get back into the corner. Nade's at least doing a little bit. Smoke still available for them to try and slow things down, but there's no rotation here. There's no way they held on to this round. Tensky needs to basically pull off the best clip I've ever seen with the CZ, and he's not going to do that. And the remaining 2 players are just sat into the pit, just in case it was a fake. Unfortunately, it was reality. 13 rounds on the board, 5 for Nordavind, and there's no choice for the remaining 2 players but just try and save onto the menial weaponry that they have.
Understandably, and I don't think they can really start ecoing now. I mean, they could if they want to take that 1 eco, obviously come into the round afterwards then with a pretty decent buy, but at that point they're down 14-5, and if they weren't willing to take the eco here at 12-5, I don't know if they will then either. So it's a tough spot to be in. We're going to see, of course, will they invest around these in the next round? I don't know. I'd like to see them at least get the 1 gun round and try and give themselves the opportunity to get something going on the CT side, because a lot of the times you kind of just do see this. I wasn't expecting it as much with a team like Nordavind, but I guess also with the fact that they don't have Rubino right now as well. Having Harry stand in, not having their normal in-game leader. I think, is it Neo that's taking it over for the moment? I think I've seen some things about that.
Yeah, he's done it in a few previous teams and had his moments calling. Like, I don't think it's something he particularly minds doing, but I do think that a lot of the time it will take away from his individual skill when he does end up in-game leading, and it's definitely not been the best match for him. Of course, we've only really seen the T side, and we haven't seen the AWP on the CT side at all, so it's a bit of a harsh assessment. Also, someone I mentioned who'd been performing quite well recently, Tensky's not even on the map at the moment. We haven't really seen too much from their Inferno. It's one that statistically is not that bad a map for them, but at the same time, they lost it to Dignitas 16-8. They lost it to Big 16-3. The only teams they beat in a Unicorns of Love, Fate, and Demolition Crew, along with Wieslau Krakow. Like, I'm going to be honest, those are teams that they're not even close to the caliber of what Team Spirit have been showing this season. So, yeah, I said where I'd like to see the map go. Unfortunately, they are not the only ones that get to ban maps, and I think that this has definitely come out in a strong position for Team Spirit. And yeah, I can't say I particularly believe in a comeback. Free AWP though, that's not bad.
Yeah, Harry's just like, all right, I'm out. We'll get our gun round in the next. It'll help us pulling out the op, obviously. Maybe they could pull out the secondary op as well if they want to into this next round. I mean, at this point, sometimes it calls for you to just go for those slightly more desperate buys, especially if you do have the money. It's not like you have to worry about, oh, if we're buying a double op, it's a lot of money. You could mess us up afterwards and some other rounds. Nah, it's going into this gun round now. It's do or die. So it'll be interesting to see what they do buy up. Seems like all 3 players will survive. No one from Team Spirit trying to hunt it down. Of course, as we had said in a couple of those previous rounds, or at least in the second round and a half, we did see a bit of damage being done. So Team Spirit, they're like, okay, we'll keep the money we have. Oh, no.
What?
What just happened, man?
Just said Joe's own teammate.
Yeah.
I'm so confused. Okay.
I couldn't finish my sentence because it also ruined my point. I was just saying they want to just save all their money, play it safe, make sure they can close this game out. But some that young is like, nah, man, you're dead.
Okay, that was an interesting thing. I'm going to try and forget that and move on into the next round. Tees are still going to have a reasonable amount of money going forward, and they do have still the AWP alongside the SG, but it's a good buy for the CT side. Finally, we get one, but it could be the last hurrah if they don't manage to get anything done here. HS actually still playing fairly aggressively around middle, and just a little bit too early on the incendiary. $600 just thrown into the abyss. They've taken a gamble as well. NATO basically just being the sole man on this site. He's almost dead already and has to fall back. And this should pull a rotation away from the CT side on the A site, unless they really are all in at this point.
Yeah, it looks like it might be Harry rotating over, maybe. Yeah, and he's going to make his way around True Arch back over towards B. So, yeah, Team Spirit being a little bit successful here, pulling that rotation away, forcing Nordavind back into a little bit more of just a standard setup right now. And obviously, rotating back in, they don't really know what's going on in mid, so they also have to kind of just give up that control at this point. So, quite a bit for Team Spirit to work with right now. 40 seconds left to make the decision about where they're going to end the round. And you can see already that has been made. They're backing off towards Banana. They're going to be grouping up over on B itself in terms of the nades that are available here. NATO Suffix actually does have a Molotov and a flash, so that can delay them a little bit. And you can see the timing for it is pretty good. But okay, yeah, no, 2 players have already gone back up mid. The bomb as well going to go back down. And this is work to pull a 3rd player onto B.
Yeah, the only thing is the time. There's 15 seconds left. If all really HS has to do is just try and drop that bomb, it's difficult because there's so many players coming in this direction. But if he can deny, he can't. He gets headshot through the side of the box. That might be the game right there. They get the bomb down in the last few seconds. The one buy from Nordavind is not going to be able to stop the train that has been Team Spirit, absolutely decimating their opponent in this match. And, well, there is no choice other than to save the remaining 2 guns and at least bring something into the next round. In fact, NATO actually has enough money where he can drop a couple of guns. So they would actually have a relatively full buy going into the next round if these 2 survive. And even though the money is good for the T side, I don't think they're going to take any risks here.
Yeah, unless some guy young just feels trigger happy again.
I just wants to yeet one of his teammates out of the round.
Nah, look, they're both hiding a bit away from him.
It's like, you go over there. I don't want to get headshot again.
Yeah, 5 to 50. I think at this point, Spirit are just having a little bit of fun with it. You can see the team spirit is high. Terrible joke. I'm sorry, I had to do it.
Now do one with Nordavind.
Nordavind. that one's much harder. If I tried to make a joke about Nordavind, it would be not a win, not a win. Tried it. Terrible. Told you it wouldn't work. Told you it wouldn't work, man. You asked for one. You put me on the spot. I'm not great with jokes. I get one every now and again that I put out, but I tried. All right? I'm trying to make this somehow fun.
Wow. A double AWP setup has been purchased into the hands of the Danes. We'll see if it can work. NATO is in a decent position here. HS is already gone. He's been ruined by a chopper. He definitely is looking for blood at the moment. But the thing is, I don't even feel like Spirit, and maybe a couple of rounds on their CT side, they took some heavy risks and were over-aggressive, but they seem to be quite calm on this T side. They get themselves the opener, slow down a little bit, look to try and reposition. NATO not going to be able to connect his shot. That seemed like the chance for his team. Even just look at the position of Tensky. He was almost ready to gamble all in onto that A site, even though they've only just sort of taken mid control. I think the CT side have sort of run out of ideas at this point. They're just trying to get everybody in the right place at the right time. NATO has a smoke, but this AWP is not where it needs to be. Croman only going to manage to get one. He does damage onto Mir, but NATO just trying to basically hold on the site. He is calling for the rotation, but Tensky's still so far away, so it is going to be down to the lone AWP to try and hold on. The real worry for Spirit, though, is they are starting to really burn that clock down. They're waiting for all the smokes to fade. They still have one down where Tensky currently sits and Chopper executes one. The second goes his way as well, and Spirit makes this match look very easy indeed.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, it started off pretty decent for Nordavind. I had high hopes once we actually seen them win out that force buy, got the 3-1 lead going fairly convincingly also, but after that, they just looked kind of flat. We didn't really get to see them do too much. Started the CT side, it took them all like 5 rounds for them to finally get a full buy-in, and then even then weren't able to get much done with that. So, I mean, unfortunately, that kind of went as expected. I'm looking forward to seeing